Welcome, everybody, to the Brick and Mortar Roundtable meeting. We're talking about tips in applying Google Business Profile for brick and mortar businesses today. And my guest is Denise Watkins, that has a roller skating rink that I've known for, I think it's now almost 4 years, Denise.
Maybe a little more than that, Martin. I think it was around maybe 2016
It might have been.
or 2017. It just, time flies by.
Showed up in my class and I didn't scare her off by saying, you got to get on camera. No, she's doing great. And a little bit about the program. My associate and I, Dave Baldwin, he's not with us tonight. There's two groups, the open brick and mortar group on Alignable, and then we have a closed paid brick and mortar roundtable that has regular meetings. And Denise is a active member in that as well. You can look that up. I'll put in the link and find out more about it. But what we really want to do is cover some tips on getting more business for brick and mortar on Google Business Profile. So I'm going to start, Denise, by bringing up yours incognito so we can see it. And if you don't know what incognito is, it's just using Chrome and then opening up a window that is less biased by your searches before. If you're technical, the IP and location still trackable, but it's less biased. I'm in what's called incognito, and that means, let me just go back one in case someone's not familiar with it. If we go into incognito here, if you can see in the upper right-hand corner, this little guy with eyeglasses on and a hat, that's just saying it's going to be a little less biased from my last experience. And I'm going to look up, first of all, the dead on, which is Skyview Skateland in Rocky Mount. The biggest thing that I'm sold on for Google Business Profile is the fact that if you noticed, almost a third of the screen's filled with this content. And if you were paying the old school yellow pages and you could even get this presence, you'd be spending several $1,000s a year to get this type of web presence. And a lot of brick and mortars aren't capitalizing on this well enough. And this is just gold to capitalize on, especially remember, Facebook is more of a pay to play and gives you less exposure. I mean, you have to work hard. They're creative marketing people that do it. Instagram, some people have seen a drop on it. Yelp is quirky in itself, where they often will have very assertive salespeople. The big thing to know with Google Business Profile is if someone's calling you at the business claiming they're Google, they're not Google. Those are people wanting to do what we're going to show you free and charge you a lot of money for. Google does not call, Yelp does. And then there are others, TripAdvisor and stuff like that. But this is a presence that's a nice complement to Alignable as well. So what we want to see is Denise right here has a good presence. She has a simple WordPress website. It's good. She's got some nice presence on the left with her Facebook. She's on TripAdvisor. She's got on Yelp. And then we go down her Instagram showing up, her YouTubes. And then, of course, the YouTube, the importance of having good YouTube content here is very valuable. And then there's some other links. So that's the basics of that. But then let's roll slowly back up and we look here on the right. And what we've got is people are going to be looking at your pictures and they'll be drawn from the left to the right. So you may have spent thousands of dollars in your website and it's worth it to get the value, but their eye is often drawn to the pictures. So then when I click on the photos, and again, Denise is here. This is a almost zero budget, no paid ads marketing. And she's been building content up, and many people don't realize you can get video up here and you can have pictures and so forth right on the left so they can see it. And we really discourage people from using any stock art.
Well, I just try to, capture what I can in the skating rink. I remember early on in a few of your classes, you would always say it's a muscle that has to be developed. Sometimes I'd catch myself and think, oh, why didn't I get a picture of that? But, the more you get into thinking like a reporter and acting like a reporter so that you can share your information, that muscle does get developed, and you realize I need to capture that video or I need to capture that image. And that's what begins to build really my digital content.
Yeah, excellent. And then she does have a street view that's a little bit older, and that's much harder to affect because we'll talk about that, but that's using the Google 360 photography. And then one, and Denise and I have on the list to get an updated picture of this, but that's her rink, and this, she's already massively upgraded it. But this was done just by using my smartphone. Now, Google has changed their 360 do-it-yourself. So just know that, and I'll see what we can do to get some links on it. I don't want to put a lot in, but when you do it yourself versus a pro photographer doing it, you'll get a few continuity. I call it continuity errors. Do you see how that didn't quite line up? So, but it's still at the time, and this was many years, that was five years ago, Denise. So it must be at least that long. Okay. So 5 years ago, this was a big deal because she had an outside that wasn't as impressive, and nothing personal, Denise, but but when you looked inside, it really looked fun, even at the early stage. Now she's done carpet upgrades and image upgrades and got a new disco ball, I think, going on, and lots of things. But this really is one of those things we'll talk about more on. But we just want to do a quick going down on what's here as we.
And what you're noticing right off the bat, you have some clickable links to my website. If you needed directions, if you want to save me as a favorite, maybe you're going to come back another time, or if you want to actually place a call to me. Now, some of this, I'm going to place in my dashboard so that information is correct, as well as I, in my analytics, can view if people have come from my website or come from my Google listing to my website. I can see how many have asked for directions, how many phone calls I get. And I would say maybe in the last month, Google actually sends me a daily report that says how many missed calls I have had through their platform. So, it's pretty interesting. You have to realize Google is a search through web browser as well as the Maps app. So you have two opportunities that people can actually look for you. I use my Google Maps all the time. And, it's just easy access to find out. If you'll scroll back up a second on that, Martin, again, I can look at a lot of different things. This overview that we're looking at right now, you can get the directions. Again, I can save this as a favorite so I can come back. If I want to see what's nearby me, I could do it. If I want to send that to possibly my phone, maybe I'm in search on a browser. And then if I want to share.
This link brings us right to the map listing. We can also get a link directly. They'll pop up a ability to create a review. So both are available for her and they can share it. The other thing that's important to understand is getting your data and your times. And Denise, amazing how many places they'll have an emergency or something and they won't update this, and they'll lose trust in their customers because you can just go in right on your phone through your Google Maps listing, signed in with the same email or Gmail that you use to set this up, and update those times. Very important for brick and mortar, because you might have an emergency and put a sign on the door, we'll be back in 2 hours or 4 hours. I had to family emergency. Well, just break out this app and hit it here, and then people driving from a long area will see that immediately.
Well, Martin, why don't I just say that's my number one tip in
Yep.
this meeting tonight, and that is to have correct hours on your listing.
Yep.
We all know that most people believe Google is the authority. Whatever Google says is the truth. Well, that is really dependent on who is putting that information into that profile, whether it's truly accurate or not. I guess one of my biggest tips relating to your hours, Google will send you an email typically about 2 weeks prior to any holiday, Martin Luther King, President's Day, Memorial Day, Christmas. What they're doing is kind of reminding you that your normal hours may be different from your stated hours. If your hours are different, it's very easy to go in and change that. Now, for me, occasionally we have bad weather. We may have snow. When we have snow, it totally shuts us down because we're just not prepared to handle it. And if that's a normal night that I'm open, I can simply go in and add hours. And if it's a Friday night, which is normally 7 to 10, I can override that particular night to say that I am closed. Therefore, I don't have anybody coming out to my place of business thinking they're going to be able to skate. And I think that's very important because nobody wants to waste their time.
Yep.
Back to the important tip about holiday hours.
Yes. Yes.
I told you Google will email you and remind you to verify your hours. You're either going to say you're open or closed. Now, if you ignore that and do not go into your profile and verify the hours, Google will leave a little message that hours may be different due to the holiday. When I see that, I know the owner of that account did not verify their Google hours. I mean, their holiday hours at their location.
Yep.
They ignored Google's email. If I were going to go to them, I would call first to make sure they're open. But I know that because I use my Google profile extensively. So I know that's how Google operates. So if it's a holiday and you see that little verbiage that say hours may be different due to the holiday, that's meaning they did not verify those hours through their Google listing.
Yeah, and we have some, and everyone knows in marketing, anything that gets the customer go, I'm not sure, usually doesn't lead to more business. So we want to take those barriers away. The quote I often used is, we want to remove all barriers from our right customer paying us.
That's right. You want to make sure you're there,
And
ready
then
to accept them.
as we go down, you've got products listed here to give them an idea what's available. And the thing I like is that you can have ranges. So if you don't have something specific like the, STEM field trip, what approximately it cost, ranges can get in there as well. So this could be services, products, or products. And those are really, these are events, but then you also have skates that they can buy.
Correct. So, it's nice to have all of that listing there. Again, remember, Google is a search engine that provides content, and that content is stored. So as someone is inputting a question, Google is a web crawler crawling to find information. I personally think the more content that you have related to your business, I think you look stronger to Google. That's what they're in the information business. They're trying to supply relevant, current information people want to know.
The other thing is the Q&As. People ask questions, or this is important to look at because this can address some commonly asked questions right up front where it might have taken the time of answering a phone call. And if they can get their question and still come to you, that's another win.
And I will say, if I did not reply to those questions, other people could.
Yep. And it
Well,
may not
I
be
know-
the answer you want.
That's right. I know the answer, and I want them to see that answer has come from the horse's mouth, not from somebody who thinks they know. So you need to pay attention, and you'll see all of this through your dashboard.
And one of the things in reviews people are always concerned about is getting negative reviews. So we go in, we have a full training program on this in extensive strategies and how to respond. But I'll give you the quick response is it's all about how you handle it for the rest of the world to see. And it's important that you generally respond to them because especially if you're brick and mortar, anyone who can come in may come in. That's what we used to say when I ran a Radio Shack, Denise. Anyone who could come in may come in from brick and mortar. Now you're a little more gated in that you're at a more remote location, but just know we see people where someone maliciously lies, somebody makes something up, and all types of stuff. What matters is evaluating its plausibility to a stranger and then respond to it, though you're writing personally to them, so that a stranger who sees it goes, oh, they care. And Denise, one of my favorite demonstrations I love doing when I'm doing live training on this is I get someone to come up and give me compliments. And then what I do is, well, in fact, we'll do it here. Denise, make something up nice about me, and I'll do a demonstration of what happens when you don't respond to a review. Go ahead.
Martin can take you where you are and teach you as far as you want to go to learn. Hello? Anybody there?
That's the digital version of not responding, folks. That's your course. And when people see it, they finally learn the lesson. It's just like, sorry, I didn't do my best dumb look, but at least that was a good honorable mention.
I thought it looked pretty good, Martin.
Good. Okay.
I got the picture.
You got the picture. So, that's it. And then, of course, getting your content again, it's just like anything. If you don't own the message, they'll make it up, and it usually won't make you look good. So making sure you have this. And then as we go down, we have further, so important to do updates. The worst thing you have is Happy Easter, and it's almost October down here. Talk a little bit about that.
All right. So I just posted that, the best summer ever, and I posted that as an event. You know that it's an event because it ranges from June 8th to August the 17th. So during the summer, I will open on Thursday afternoons for an afternoon session for children to come in and skate. And that is, so I posted that as an event. That will stay current until August the 17th. So that's why it's also valuable real estate to create events. Now, to the right, the celebrate the end of the school year, that was a post, just like what I do for my social media. I'm trying to let people know that it's still time if you want to post a session as an end of the year celebration to call me. I always like to have a call to action. They offer you the different buttons, and that call now has my Ring telephone number associated with it. If they click that call now, it's going to ring me up. And again, like I said, Google will notify you just about every day and let you know if you had any missed calls. So it may say I have 0 missed call and 6 answered calls. So that is saying I had 6 calls to come through the Google platform to call me. That's how they found me. That's how they called.
Yeah. And this is, and then it's going to show the competition and the rule. If anyone really knows marketing, you want competition because that's your best chance to compare and contrast you. Of course, not in what we're talking about, but Denise has really learned how important it is to get some good YouTube content out there because Google loves bringing that in as well. So those are a few. I'm going to jump over and while we're here, and then we'll show you how to get into this and we'll open for questions. I want to jump over and show one of the Google 360 tours. So we are not signed in, and we're going to go ahead and take a peek at their photos here. And what I want you to see is the 360, because this is really exciting and is something that for a business that has a very impressive indoors, but not quite as impressive front door, this can really make a difference for brick and mortar. And I've known this couple, and we got to do videos with them as well. The area brought us in for videos because we work with the Small Business Center, towns and counties, to help kind of promote the downtown groups as well. So then we can go through each one. Now we're at the front of the shop, and I want to show this. Here's the front of the shop, and we're going to walk right out the door. Oh, there's a nice car. Oh, that's my car. Okay. So there we're outside. And what I really care to demonstrate to you is seeing the front of this store. Because if you notice, that front is very nice and they do a nice job, but it doesn't showcase as well what you see when you go inside. That's, to me, one of the brick and mortars. Now, here's a tip. Not all Google 360 photographers are the same. So make sure to see their work, and also make sure you get someone who's like really attentive to details to walk through for anything you didn't expect. I saw one, Denise, it was a restaurant, happened to flip up, and it was just extremely dirty ceiling fans, which is not a good marketing piece for a restaurant to have. And luckily it was no one I knew that had done the photography, but this is the type of thing that really can bring and does bring people in. Now, this is generally something where you're going to have to hire someone. Charles Register is the one I work with in my area. But what I say is look them up. I saw an example of one where it was a hair salon. And of course, hair salons are going to have a little lower lights when you go in. Well, in an image like this, it looked like a dungeon. They needed to light it up more, and the right photographer would have known that. And they just got any of the 360 photographers, and they are not all the same. And we're going to have Denise show us what it looks like on the back side of things.
All right. So this is my actual dashboard. This is where you can see, again, I'm on a desktop, but I do have the app on my cell phone. So it just depends. Sometimes I'm in a rush. I need to do something quickly. I may do it actually from my cell phone, but I do prefer, for the most part, to go into the search mode through my browser. The very first tip I gave you was concerning the hours. And that is going to be found here under your edit profile. Right here is where the hours are. If we scroll down, here are your holiday hours. And you notice these are different ones that I have gone in and adjusted as needed to be adjusted so that my information is correct. This April 13th was spring break week. That was a Thursday afternoon session. I'm typically not open on Thursday afternoons, but I wanted to be found that day.
Which is extremely important because it's my birthday.
Oh, it is important, isn't it? But that is a feature that, I can add that. And if people are looking, they can do that. So it is very good. I can go in here and click edit. Then I can go down here let's see, let's do this. See, I thought I had already
Hmm,
set up Memorial Day, but I haven't.
that's a
So
good one to see.
there is the review. It's normally, I'm not open on Mondays, so it automatically did that. But here, I can go in here and let's say I want to add that I'm going to open May the 1st. I could say May 1st. I could say that I'm open and I can choose my hours. So that is adding an extra hour or a session for me that normally would show it as being closed.
Yeah.
So that is under your business information, edit profile,
Edit
and
profile
it's
and
under
then
hours.
hours. You got it.
So I think that is very critical. My second one are handling reviews.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to respond always to reviews, whether they are good or bad.
Yep.
Like Martin said, people are going to see how you respond to their reviews. They want to see, that tells them a whole lot.
And I say we have this built-in authenticity detector. So they're going to look at it and the reviews. And it's amazing, Denise, how many times people have gamed the system to get fake reviews that are positive. And I'll test it in a room full of participants and businesses. And I'll go, which one of these is real? And which do you think they got a blender or a cookie or something? And they'll spot it. So a lot of people have developed this muscle. And so we don't recommend doing that. Incentivized reviews over time generally look that way. And then here's one where, no matter how great you are, someone's not going to be happy.
Yes. Look, this was 3 weeks ago. This was a very odd, unique night. Probably the last 30 minutes prior to closing, one of my rear windows cracked open. It was like somebody threw a rock in. Thankfully, nobody got hit by any flying glass. But she said, I didn't like the location and being there for the first time. Someone vandalized a window in the building. That's not a good look for a place. So I responded, we are located in a residential area. I'm out in the county. In September, we celebrate our 65th year. So back then, there were no zoning laws.
Right.
This was a piece of property my parents purchased. They actually had a drive-in theater first. That's where the Sky
View
came from. But I stated to her, we're located in a residential area. She's probably thinking I'm going to be in a commercial. I said, we have wonderful and supportive neighbors. We did have a window to break during the session. We found no evidence of vandalism. We suspect a bird flew into the window. We are a very safe community. I am sorry if you felt otherwise. We invite you to skate with us again.
Yeah, great.
What can I say? We did check it out the next day. We did go outside. Again, there was no evidence inside the rink of a rock or something that somebody would have thrown to break that glass. And then we went outside to see if there was anything there, and there was nothing there. My son said, Mom, it could have been the bass in your speaker. I don't know, but anyway, it's important that you respond, good or bad, because people can decide for themselves. My response, are they going to say, oh, okay, that seems reasonable?
You got an excellent example of, pay attention. People are listening and they're looking at the high reviews, the low reviews, especially brick and mortar locations. They're going, what I say is, someone's driving the car and someone's on their phone deciding which town to stop at, and they aren't even always looking at billboards, and they're reading those reviews and go, maybe we should skip this town and go to the next one based on those. And this is what I've learned over the years of working with Brick and Mortar. This is the digital first impression often of your town and county. It's almost like there's a dome around your town. And if you aren't maximizing this and working together, you're not getting as much traffic coming in. And that a few extra sandwiches or something in a restaurant or something, I've seen ones which have closed. And I said, if you add 1 or 2 more clients a day, what difference it make? He go, I'd still be open, so some small things can make a big difference.
You need to think of the reviews as the new word of mouth.
Yep.
I'm definitely from that old school era of word of mouth. And that is what exactly reviews are. Here in my dashboard is where you can ask. You can simply click that. You've then got that. I use Canva. I go into my Canva account. It'll create a QR code.
Yep.
Again, everyone's got a cell phone in their hand. Give them that QR code that they can tune in to your Google profile, and that will ask for them to leave a review. That's what you want. My number 3 tip is adding photos.
You got it.
Yes. Of course, you want a logo, you want a cover photo,
Yep.
but you periodically want to go in and you could simply add, from your computer, but you want people to be able to see videos or images that will show them different things. Let me click on here.
And short videos. I think you have
Yes.
one in there,
This, I skated the DARE students last Thursday night. I partner with my local sheriff's department, and when they finish, this is a birthday party, when they finished their DARE program, they kind of do a graduation celebration. So they come in and the children skate for free. There's the gentleman that leads this program. I try to post new pictures at least once a month. I think that's important because people want to see what's going on, especially because I think of myself as a fun, entertaining place. So people want to see what's going on. My number 4 tip was to be sure to post regularly.
Yep.
And let me move this.
Bring that on down.
If you notice, you can see all here, and you can see how I have put different items.
Yeah.
These are different products that I have put in here. Again, I have a STEM field trip. You notice it automatically populates your phone number. If I were to click that, it would ring me up, and it would go into, again, that count as how many phone calls I had from my Google account. I'm going to scroll down here because these are your updates. This is just like posting to social media. This will stay active through August the 17th, and then it'll drop off. When you do a post, it's good only for 7 days. This is my latest post. I put that yesterday. Again, that's letting them know they can call me if they want to do an end of the year celebration with me. If they want to share that with someone, it's going to share that specific post to Facebook, Twitter. I can send it by email. Again, somebody may see something they want to share with a friend. I typically try to post at least twice a week in my Google account. So this one I probably posted on Friday, maybe Thursday night. And I just kind of outline what's going on for the weekend. That's a quick and easy reference if they want to know that. We're booking summer groups. Learn more. If they click that, it's going to go to, I do a once a month blog on my website that kind of is my events page, but I've created it as a blog because it is content that needs to be on my website. Had a couple of little girls to bring their skating dolls with them one Sunday afternoon. So I said to the mom, I said, you don't mind if I take some pictures of the dolls, do you? But I did ended up taking a picture of the girls with the dolls too. But, you know, that just made a cute little post for me. So you can see I like to create posts because it's just like sharing to my social media. And I can add that update right there. I'm going to write a description. I'm going to add a photo. And of course, here are my different call to actions that I can associate. If I didn't want to put anything, but I'm always going to put a call to action. That's just my characteristic. That was my fourth tip, to post regularly. And then the fifth one, Martin and I had discussed about the 360 is a good, the 360 tour is also very good.
And Denise, I just want to say, you know, there are now cameras that, in fact, I have one, we'll have to get you next time, that you just set on a tripod, and they're less than a few $100s. So you can, you know, might have someone in town that can offer something, because really for you, you just need one in the middle of the floor to update it, you know, and it's,
Correct.
we got it covered. While like the pottery place that has lots of nooks and crannies, I mean, that's where having someone professionally, and they map it out. I've worked with them before. They map it out and then they bring it back and stitch it out with software and everything else. Performance. Yeah. Let's give a shout on that. Yeah.
I think that's important for people to see. If you notice, I can choose a time frame and it'll tell me overall in those few months that I've had a little over 4,000 interactions. That's meaning people looking at my profile. All right, there's the claim if you wanted to do some advertising with them.
Yeah.
But again, Martin says they're not going to call you.
Yeah. And you'll see there's criteria of what you have to spend as well. That, you know, for a place like yours, that's usually not cost effective. So
yeah. Looks like 2 people viewed my products. Now, this is always, I think, very interesting because you can look and see how do people see you. If you notice through Google search on a mobile device, then here is Google Maps again on mobile. And then we go into desktop. You've got search and Google Maps.
I love the area on the right because this is showing us, hey, are we getting found by what we want to be found by? So, you know, roller skating rink near me, roller skating rink. This is, yeah, and this, of course, can loop back on, yes, our SEO and content on this page is good. Would you click more? I want to see if any other words we have. Roller skating, Rocky Mount, near me, you know, and that's searching just by your name, very important. And yeah.
But again, this is very interesting to see how people are searching for, how are they finding you through search?
Yep, on the Google business profile.
And that's pretty much it.
Well, Denise, we ought to wrap it up, bring us back. We've got your basic tips here is number one, keep those hours up. Don't have someone show up like I did. I was at an island and I got off and went, oh my goodness, a pizza place off season is still open. Sure enough, it wasn't, and then updating that regular with weather. The next one you brought up is reviews, respond, good, bad, and ugly is the way I like you worded it. And then photos and adding those videos, short videos on that. Most people aren't capitalizing on. And your idea is at least once a month, and yours is you want it fresh, but you don't want to overwhelm it, which is fantastic. Post regular, so important, and adjust with events. And then the 360 tour where we showed from a do-it-yourself on your rink to a professionally done with a Google certified photographer, and make sure you see their work first before you jump. So this is excellent, Denise. And Denise, I want to thank everyone for coming. And like I said, we have a open group, Dave Baldwin and I, on Alignable for anyone to join, and I'll have the link below. And then we have a closed members only group. It's $29 a month, and Denise is a wonderful contributor and active member. And then we often showcase their skills and things.
Well, I will say, joining the group that's $29 a month is well worth it, because you are bouncing ideas off. It's a networking is what you're doing. So you're coming to the table, I'm having this issue, or where does this come from? We all know the digital world changes very rapidly. What do you know about AI?
Yes,
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT.
yeah,
We've done several on that.
Everywhere I turn, I am seeing that now. Everybody's getting on that bandwagon. But being a part of a networking group like that really does help you stay abreast of what is changing and where you need to pivot and make those changes as well. So it's a great program.
Well, what I love, Denise, is often in most events and businesses, you got a mix of people working from home, some residual income business, but then the brick and mortar is a whole different lifestyle. Like I said, when anyone can walk through that door, it's a different world. Or, we've got air conditioner, we have employee issues. How are we going to get someone to work here? It's just a different world, the liability risk and insurance than the other. So excellent. Thanks, folks. Appreciate you all coming, and watch for more in the group.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.